Today, hundreds of oil and gas wells on public lands right here in New Mexico are at high risk of being abandoned and posing a serious risk to our air, land, and water. These wells often have decaying infrastructure that can contaminate our drinking water and spew dangerous methane pollution into the air we breathe. But the Biden administration can work with Congress to strengthen the laws that dictate how much companies have to pay for cleanup when they're done with a well, so New Mexicans aren't left footing the bill. You see, before companies begin drilling on public lands, they are supposed to set aside money to cover cleanup costs when they are done drilling, or in case they go bankrupt. But the policies that dictate how much companies must put aside to cover cleanup costs have not been updated since the 1950s and the 1960s. And these decades-old federal oil and gas leasing policies are now behind the times and doing a really bad job at protecting taxpayers, our children, and our communities. Current rates do not account for inflation and were created before new technology allowed oil and gas companies to cause much more damage to the land with a single well. So when companies do go bankrupt, which is happening at a growing rate in New Mexico and across the West, local communities are left with toxic wells and a monstrous bill, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars, to clean up a mess that they didn't make. This makes absolutely no sense and needs to change. We must reform the federal oil and gas leasing system to protect communities across New Mexico and ensure that our tax dollars are invested in our children's future, not spent cleaning up the oil and gas industry's mess on our shared public lands. To learn more about what we need to bring the leasing system into the 21st century, visit www.nmvoices.org.